Most people think danger announces itself. They expect noise, anger, warning signs. They believe the threat is the man who speaks loudly, displays confidence, and demands attention. But history and human nature say otherwise. The most dangerous man in the room is often the one who says nothing at all. In ancient Japan, silence was not weakness, it was discipline. The samurai understood that a quiet mind sees what noise conceals, and a quiet presence unsettles those who rely on display. Miyamoto Musashi, Japan's greatest swordsman, wrote little about intimidation, yet embodied it fully. He defeated opponents not by shouting, but by arriving calm, unreadable, and fully present. Chapter 1. The Illusion of Loud Strength. In modern life, loudness is mistaken for confidence. People explain themselves endlessly, argue their position, and react immediately to every provocation. This constant expression feels powerful, but it is fragile. Anyone who can trigger your speech can control your behavior. The samurai saw this clearly and rejected it. Bushido taught that mastery begins with restraint. Words reveal intention, emotion, and weakness. Silence conceals all three. To remain quiet is to deny others access to your inner state. This is not secrecy for deception, but protection for clarity. Musashi often allowed opponents to speak, posture, and boast. He listened without interruption, not because he cared for their words, but because their words exposed their mind. By the time the duel began, he already knew who would lose. Noise had done the work for him. Chapter 2. The Man Who Was Always Overlooked. There was a man named Haru who worked in a modern corporate office, though his story could belong to any age. He was not particularly tall, nor physically imposing. He spoke little in meetings and never interrupted others. Because of this, he was overlooked, underestimated, and sometimes dismissed as passive. At first, Haru felt the pressure to explain himself. He wanted to speak more, to show intelligence through words, but something in him resisted. Instead, he began to observe. He watched how people spoke when nervous, how they filled silence with excuses, how they revealed insecurity through overconfidence. Over time, Haru stopped reacting. When criticized, he listened without defense. When challenged, he paused before responding. The silence unsettled people. They expected resistance or submission, not stillness. Slowly, the dynamic shifted. Chapter 3. Zen and the Power of Emptiness. Zen teaches that emptiness is not absence, but potential. A quiet cup can be filled. A quiet mind can perceive. The samurai cultivated emptiness through meditation and disciplined living, not to escape the world, but to engage it fully without distortion. When you speak less, your words gain weight. When you react less, your actions gain precision. Silence is not passivity, it is compression of force. Like a drawn bow, the tension is held inward until release becomes inevitable. Musashi called this state Heijō-shin, the calm mind. Whether facing death or daily routine, the internal posture remained the same. No emotional spikes, no unnecessary movement. This made him unpredictable because he was not governed by impulse. Chapter 4. Why silence makes others uncomfortable. Humans are uncomfortable with silence because it removes control. When you speak, you guide the narrative. When the other person remains silent, you are forced to confront yourself. This is why silence is often interpreted as judgment, even when none is expressed. Haru noticed this clearly. When he stopped filling gaps with reassurance, others began to talk more. They over-explained decisions, justified mistakes, and revealed priorities. He learned more by saying nothing than he ever did by arguing.
In Bushido, this is called maintaining one's center. To remain unmoved while others reveal their imbalance is not cruelty, but clarity. The quiet man becomes dangerous not because he seeks dominance, but because he cannot be manipulated. Chapter 5. Discipline through elimination. Silence is not achieved by force, but by removal. The samurai path focused on elimination before addition. Remove unnecessary words, remove emotional leakage, remove the need to be seen as agreeable or impressive. Haru adopted small, non-negotiable rules. He would not speak to fill silence. He would not explain himself unless asked directly. He would not respond immediately to provocation. These were not tactics, but disciplines. Over months, his identity changed. He no longer felt urgency to defend himself. His presence became steady, his speech deliberate. People began to listen when he spoke, because he rarely did. Authority emerged naturally, without announcement. Chapter 6. Musashi's unspoken strategy. Musashi often arrived late to duels, not out of disrespect, but to disrupt the opponent's emotional state. While others grew angry or anxious, he remained calm. The battle was decided before swords crossed, because one man had already lost. Control lies within one's own reach, not by seeking dominance, but by remaining unmoved. Chapter 7. Transformation without display. Haru was eventually promoted, though no campaign preceded it. His managers trusted him because he did not dramatize problems. His colleagues respected him because he did not compete for attention. He became a point of stability in a volatile environment. Nothing about his outward life appeared aggressive, yet he was no longer easily challenged. People sensed boundaries without seeing them. His calm made others cautious. His presence slowed rooms. This is the quiet transformation the samurai pursued. Not fame, not dominance, but unshakable center. Strength that does not announce itself does not need validation. Conclusion. The silent edge. In a world addicted to noise, the quiet man stands apart. His danger lies not in threat, but in discipline. He cannot be rushed, baited, or controlled through emotion. His silence is not emptiness, but readiness. Ancient Japanese wisdom teaches that mastery is inward before it is outward. To govern the self is to disarm the world. When words are chosen carefully and silence is embraced fully, presence becomes unmistakable. The quiet man does not seek attention. He allows attention to come to him, and when it does, he is already prepared.